What's cracking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, back with some early 80s punk rock. I'm not going to use the word hardcore, even though the vast majority of people who know this album and love this album and talk about this album would call it, sort of classic East Coast early 80s hardcore. But the band themselves have rejected that label from the very earliest days, and these days they're more of like a reggae, like soul funk sort of outfit, although I do think they still play some of their old songs. But yeah, if you know who I'm talking about, you know I'm talking about Bad Brains, HR, Human Resource, lead singer. Like I said, they've been around, I believe Maryland is where they originally sort of cut their musical teeth. They obviously played a bunch of punk shows in the DC area, because that's, if you're in Maryland, that's going to be one of the scenes that you'll be involved in. But again, even though they were playing a style that was increasingly being called hardcore, shout out to DOA. It's not up here because I lost the album cover, but DOA, Hardcore 81. I think it's one of the first albums that would like put the name on it, like this is hardcore. I do like that album. Shout out to Joe Shithead. But yeah, basically this is an album that I'm just going to call punk rock. And again, these days I think most of Bad Brains shows, they're more like reggae and sort of slower oriented funk, soul, etc. But we're going to listen to a tune from their self-titled original album. I believe it was on Caroline Records. This is the repress from '96. But yeah, this is originally in 1982 when it was on Roar. Roar CD. But yeah, it was originally a cassette. That's right. Anyway, and there's a comment here from Adam Yauch, the Beastie Boys, best punk hardcore album of all time. It's certainly right up there. I'm a huge fan of this album, and there's so many of the songs like Sail On and Fearless Vampire Killers, Banned in DC. We'll get around to a lot of these, and I'm a big fan. You can see I got black dots over here, so you might listen to Don't Bother Me. But here we go. This is Big Takeover on the self-titled Bad Brains album from '82. If you don't know HR's voice, you're in for a treat. So that guitar work. Wicked. That's that early 80s punk rock, baby. Yeah, so like I said, if you didn't know Bad Brains, I bet you that was a bit of a fireball. It's like the first time you hear Jello Biafra, the Dead Kennedys. It's just like, wow, I never heard anyone sing like this. And yeah, the first time I heard HR, I couldn't believe it. And I was really excited. I eventually got several of their other albums, including a couple really cool live albums. This is like a greatest hits one. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Band in DC, which is a song on this original, like, self-titled album. This is an album called The Youth Are Getting Restless. It's live in Amsterdam, 1987. That's a super dope album. They play a live version of Big Takeover, but also a live version of At the Movies. And I don't know if you ever heard their At the Movies, but that's a great song too. We'll have to come back and do that one. But yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan. I have been for a long time. I like their different styles. I like their reggae stuff too. That's very cool. I Love a Jah is a cool tune. And you know, they've been making reggae since the very earliest days. It's just earlier they were like heavier on the punk rock, and occasionally they do reggae songs, and now it's like I think they're heavy on the reggae and the soul and the funk, and they occasionally will play some of their older fast stuff. But like I said, been a big fan for a long time. I respect that they don't want to be called hardcore. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to force a label on anyone if they don't want to wear it. So, but yeah, the punk rock that they played in the early 80s remains some of my very favorite stuff. And again, first time you hear HR's voice, it's like, what the hell? I don't even know how he does that. It's like, you know, General Levy, if you know some reggae, you know some UK reggae, you know General Levy, he has that squeak that he can do, and it's like very characteristic and sort of unique to him. It's so dope. But this is like something else, like screeching. I've heard people describe HR singing, but he can also get deep and growly, so it's like screeches mixed with growls, and it's all, you know, interesting lyrics that are coming out of those screeches and growls. So as I said, I'm a big fan. Definitely going to come back for some more tunes. As I said, I definitely want to do Don't Bother Me on the Black Dots album, because that came almost, 15 years later. I think it was 96. So it's interesting, that they had maintained a sort of early gritty 80s sound even when doing punk as late as 15, 16 or 14 years after the song that we just heard. So like I said, I'm going to come back for that one, but let me know if there's another Bad Brains song you'd like to hear. Let me know if there's any more punk rock. As I said, there's all sorts of stuff up here, so if you see anything up here, back here, that catches your fancy and it's like, oh wait, I'm not huge on metal, but I do listen to a lot of Iron Maiden. I don't know if you can see, there's some Maiden albums up there, so if you're into metal and you'd like to hear like a Maiden reaction, please do let me know. Just looking to get a little more interaction. I'm going to mention this one more time because I keep mentioning the last couple days. There's a chance I might get access to my original channel, and if I'm able to keep both channels going, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep most of my electronic music reactions and my DJ mixes and whatever on my original channel, and this one I might use more for punk rock and hip hop and reggae and classical and jazz and that kind of stuff, because just in the 4 or 5 days that I've been running the second channel, it seems like those are the kind of reactions that are getting more people interacting and commenting. So, I'm just going to kind of roll with it. But like I said, if I get both channels, then I'll be able to kind of keep my different musical lives separate. So we'll see what happens. I'll let you know. But thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any recommendations or requests. Other than that, have a good day, have a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace.